Welcome back, boys and girls. Last week we talked about striking and volleying. This week we're going to talk about dribbling with basketballs. So all week we're going to kind of discuss some different things with basketball. If you have a basketball, fabulous. If you have some space inside or outside where it'll bounce, even better. But if you don't, perfectly okay. Especially for this first part, you can use any object. You can use a different kind of ball. You can use your sweatshirt, your shirt, anything, even, anything that you can find around the house that you can hold, because we're going to start off very slow talking about some different things before we get into the dribbling and the passing and the shooting and things like that. Hopefully you know a little bit about basketball. Some of you might know our San Antonio Spurs. We are lucky to have a professional basketball team here in town. If not, maybe you have a different favorite team, or if this is your first time ever learning and hearing about basketball, great, you're going to learn a little bit about it this week. So, like I said, for this first part, you don't even need a basketball. It can be any size ball, it can be a stuffed animal, it can be any object that you want to use, because we're going to talk about ball handling skills. And ball handling skills are important in basketball because if you cannot have control over the ball, you're not going to be very successful. So we really want you to try to get familiar with the ball itself or whatever object you're using at home. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of toss it. We want to just use our hands. You can kind of spin it off your fingertips and try not to use your body. We don't want you to catch it like a football or anything like this. We just want you to use your hands, okay? See if you can just use your fingertips mainly to spin it. If you want to get real fancy, you can flip your hand back and forth, right? But we just want you to kind of know that this ball is a little bit bigger for some of your hands, and so if you can use kind of your fingertips more and spread your fingers apart, kind of grip it like a web almost. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go around our body. And if I turn sideways, you can see I'm not touching my body. Again, all hands. If it's hard for you, if your object is big and your hands are hard to reach around you, go ahead and just roll it on you, okay? But the ultimate goal as you get bigger and better is to go ahead and bring it around your waist without touching, and you can go multiple directions. You can speed it up or slow it down, whatever you need to get comfortable with the ball. You can go around your head, same thing, trying to get control of the ball, and go the opposite way. You can go around your legs. So I'm going to scoot way back to show you that one, and you can go around the lower part of your legs, and make sure you practice both ways on that one as well. Even just kind of, like we talked about at the beginning, one hand or tossing it to the other hand, but just kind of getting control of that ball will really help you once we move on, okay? So we're gonna move on to dribbling next. If you don't have anything at home where you can dribble, you have carpet, you don't have an actual basketball, just pretend. We really want you to get used to the motion of it anyway. Or if you want to maybe even grab a tennis ball, something that'll bounce. It's gonna be a little harder with the tennis ball, but if not, just go ahead and practice the motion of the dribbling itself. So I'm right-handed. I feel more comfortable with my right hand. The biggest thing is that I'm not slapping the ball here. I mainly don't even want to touch the ball with this middle part of my hand here. I want to use more of my fingers, just like we talked about with that web. And I want the ball to come waist level. Okay, that's going to show me that I have control, because if I'm dribbling like this, I don't know where that ball is going to go. So I want to make sure that I can control it. Kinder, first grade, all you're going to do is practice 3 to 5 times without losing control. My upper grades, 2nd through 5th, you really want to be able to continue the motion when you dribble, okay? So again, I'm right-handed, so I can even put my left hand behind my back so it doesn't make me want to touch it, because I really want to dribble with one hand in basketball, okay? And I just want to push the ball down. My arm is pushing the ball down so that it can come up to my waist. I do not want to do this, right? I want to keep control of the ball coming up just high enough to my belly button and almost pretty close to me, just like we talked about in soccer dribbling, right? We don't want the ball to go far from me because then the other team's going to take it. You can practice with your left hand. And just make sure that you're getting really good with both hands, okay? And then we're gonna move on to the next part. All right, now that you've practiced a few times dribbling with one hand, we're gonna kind of see if you can become a little bit better at it, and we're gonna practice walking and dribbling. So it's the same thing. You're gonna keep the ball at your belly button height level. You're gonna not slap the ball, right? You're gonna push the ball down with your arm. And then we're just gonna simply start off walking with it. So again, I like to dribble with my right hand. I'm gonna use both, but I like to dribble with my right hand. I'm gonna push the ball as I'm walking towards the camera. Then I can switch hands when I get here and try it with my left hand on the way back, okay? Now, 2nd through 5th graders, you're a little bit older. You probably can already do this, so then you can speed it up and kind of jog with it. You can set up our shoes or our cones that we kind of did with soccer dribbling and hockey dribbling, and see if you can dribble in and out of going one way, switching hands, going the other way, right? Working on what we call a crossover. Crossover just means you're switching from one hand, crossing over to the other hand, okay? Be careful, boys and girls, when you're dribbling. I see a lot of it when we're in person with, you want to rush, and we tend to do this as we dribble. And when you carry over that ball, it's called a carry in basketball, and that becomes a penalty. Your hand really shouldn't come around the ball, okay? You want to stay on top, pushing the ball down when you're dribbling. Those of you that maybe are way advanced dribblers, this is super easy for you. You get to try maybe some tricks, right? Simple crossover is going to be pretty easy for you. If you're only working on walking and dribbling, that's perfectly okay, because that's the most important part, being able to dribble and control the basketball. You don't need fancy tricks in a game. You don't need any of that stuff. But if you are at that level and you are really advanced and you want to have some fun with it, you can try a behind the back dribble, and that's simply where you take that crossover from right to left, only you do it behind you. So you'll see if I can do it. You're going to be dribbling here, and you're going to bounce the ball behind you and cross over here. The other one you can do is between your legs, simply standing at a split stance where you're like this, and the ball is coming between your legs like that. If you're better than I am, you can do it while you're moving in a game. I was never successful at that. But again, if you're pretty good at controlling the ball, having good control while you dribble, fancy tricks aren't necessary. They just make it a little bit more fun. Have fun practicing dribbling, Colts.